I want to come out and say that I do not support George Floyd and the media depiction of him as a martyr for Black America. I'm going to explain why, and I hope that some of you guys will understand where I'm coming from. For whatever reason, it has become fashionable over the last 5 or 6 years for us to turn criminals into heroes overnight. And it is something that I find to be despicable, and it is something that I refuse to stand by any longer, and I am not going to play a part in it, no matter how much pressure comes from Black liberals and Black conservatives as some token of people wanting you to believe that this is the only way you can be Black, is you have to say this was wrong and that this, this person was amazing. I won't do that. George Floyd was not an amazing person. First and foremost, George Floyd at the time of his arrest was high on fentanyl and he was high on methamphetamine. This came back in both of his autopsy reports. If you pursue the 911 transcript, you can see the person describing somebody who is out of their mind high, and which is what made the person fearful, because he tried to use a bill that I guess was a fake bill to purchase something, and then he was outside acting weird, and they, in their police call, said that this person was obviously distorted and on drugs. When he is put into handcuffs and is put against the wall, a baggie of what looks to be like cocaine or it's white. It's a white baggie that he drops onto the floor that you can see in an image if you look up the clip. 1998, he spent 10 months in prison for theft with a firearm. That was the first prison stint that I could find on him. In 2002, he spent 8 months in prison for a cocaine offense. In 2004, just 2 years later, he spent another 10 months in prison for a cocaine offense. In 2005, he spent another 10 months in prison for having less than 1 gram of cocaine on him again. In 2007, and this was the biggest instant that I had that made me realize this was a horrible human being that I am not going to pretend was a good person. In 2005, a woman who was pregnant received a knock at the door, and she went to the door, and the person pretended to be someone that worked for the water department. So she opened her door and quickly realized that the person at her door did not work for the water department and attempted to slam it. At the moment that she was attempting to slam it, a Ford pulled up and another 5 men jumped out of the car, and one of which was George Floyd, came up to the door, and they forced their way inside to her home, inside of her home. Mind you, this woman is pregnant. At that point, George Floyd took out a gun and pressed it to her stomach. She was screaming, begging for her life, and he put her inside of her living room and instructed one of his criminal friends that was with him to watch her and to make sure she didn't leave the living room. So he was playing guard while they ransacked her home looking for drugs and money. They did not find drugs. They ended up taking, I believe, her wallet and her cell phone. Fortunately for her, her neighbor observed what was going on and caught the license plate of the people as they pulled off and called 911. And when 911 was able to, they were able to track down the car of which George Floyd was the driver, and they arrested him. And 2 years later, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison for that instance. George Floyd is not my martyr. He can be yours. That's all I have to say to Black America.
Yo, YouTube, what's going on? Trey back again to hit you all with another video. Hope you all had a great weekend. My weekend was very good. I don't know if you all seen the video recently. It was made by Candace Owens. I didn't know who Candace Owens was. Had no idea who this woman was. Never even heard of until a couple of days ago when I tuned in. And out of all places, yes, I caught the video, not on Facebook Live, but on WorldStar. But she basically was going off on George Floyd, saying that he was not a hero and he's not a murderer, and that he was basically a thug and he wasn't even worth to be born. Basically, that's what I heard in the whole situation. Now, she said a lot of other things with a lot of long talking. You got to watch these people who do all this double talk. But at the same time, I look back and I question this whole situation because I did not want to make a video even speaking on Candace Owens, because politics and all that other things is not even my field. I don't really care about it. But one thing I do care about is the way people are treated, especially in the public life, where you have black men and black women going against each other, or vice versa. But at the same time, tell me, when was the last time you seen any other race of people, one of their people getting murdered, and then you have that same group of people coming out speaking against the person? Now, first of all, let me be clear. Nobody is calling George Floyd, may he rest in peace, a hero or a martyr. What we as a people are saying is that we seen the injustice, what happened in Minneapolis when George Floyd was pulled over, and also what took place after that, where you had what we thought was one cop, but come to find out it was four cops, and all four of those cops were charged. I think they are trying to charge those four cops with second-degree murder, but really it should be first-degree murder. Now, on the other hand, if you have a man who's basically pinned down to the ground, can't resist the risk because you got three grown men on his back and on his legs, how is he a threat? Why would you put your knee on the man's neck when he tell you he basically cannot breathe and he cannot breathe? He's saying this for as long as he could, for minutes. And then you have other group of people. You have other races of people also in the crowd. One was a white nurse saying that the man cannot breathe. Please let him at least breathe, get some air. But you had a white police officer, David Chauvin, who basically sat there with his hands in his pocket and everything, twiddling his fingers, killed this man in front of the camera. And then you have people who act like they did not see what they just seen, just like this 9/11. But the sad situation about it, instead of the people coming together and just demanding justice, you will have people who come out for their own interest. Now, it's quite suspect that Candace Owens would, around the same time she's making this video about speaking on George Floyd, that she would have a book coming out. And also, recently, I just learned this a few minutes ago, yes, hot off the press, where you have GoFundMe basically, scrapped her campaign to raise money for her new book. They shut the whole thing down, so you cannot donate money to Candace no more for her book, because they're saying that she was wrong for basically calling George Floyd everything but a child of God, a thug. So they took the whole campaign down. But let's read a snippet from this story, dive a little deeper, so we can see what's really going on. And also, what's really sad, it's the fact that you will have our president, yes, he's still our president no matter if we like him or not. We can't get Obama back. But you will have our president, Donald Trump, who will sit up here and share the same sentiments in so many ways as the Candace Owens. But we already know how Trump feels, even though I don't make videos about Trump for a lot of reasons. But anyway, I'm going to read a quick snippet from the story. I'm going to give my opinion. All of it. Surely. As we go. Right after I get this coffee. Oh, yeah. Okay. Trump shares Candace Owens' interview saying George Floyd was not a good person. But one thing I want to say, and I'm trying to be as serious as possible, I have to say this. Damn, Candace Owens got a big forehead. But anyway, now U.S. President Donald Trump has shared an interview in which conservative activist Candace Owens described George Floyd as a symbol of a broken culture in black America today and insists that he was not a good person. So, hold on. Just because a person has a criminal past or a person was in trouble before, they give them the right to be murdered. And then we see them being murdered on national TV all over the place. You can't hide it. I mean, damn, you walk by down a shop in the mall, they show a picture of the murder. You go home and watch damn TV, it's right there. You go to the internet, it's right there. You're on your phone, it's right there. Billboards, it's right there. So this picture is all over the world. You got people in Kazakhstan and China seeing this. And guess what? They mad as hell too. So wouldn't your own people be more madder than the other people? No. You have some people who will do what? Sell your butt out. But anyway, now Mr. Floyd died last Monday in Minneapolis after a police officer pinned him to the ground with a knee to the neck for nearly 9 minutes. Some people say 9, some people say 12. I say about 11 and a half. But anyway, the killing has sparked days of protests across the U.S. and against racism and police brutality, and also demonstrations around the world. You have people around the world basically calling for justice. Now, let's reflect and put on our critical thinking caps if we can. Now, hold on. Now, we had a guy, like I made an example in the other video I did about George Floyd. Now, we had a guy named Dylan Roof who went inside a church in Charleston, South Carolina, where he, I think, murdered 9 people. And guess what? They said not only did they take Dylan out alive, he had no knee to his neck, that they took him to Burger King, and basically he's in maximum security prison right now, but he's still breathing. Now, if anybody, I don't wish death for no one, but if anybody deserved to die, wouldn't it be somebody that's slaughtering people, just going there, especially to a religious building, killing people? Wouldn't them be the people that should be most likely getting killed instead of somebody allegedly cashing or trying to cash out or get some goods for fake money, some kind of counterfeit money, which people said that the money turned out to be real. Now, it's a lot to this whole George Floyd story I'm not trying to get into, but at the same time, from the outside looking in, let's be real. Then we also have a guy in Aurora, Colorado, who went inside a movie theater and killed quite a few people. Guess what? They took him out alive, and he's in court. He don't know whether he's coming or going. So what I'm saying is this right here, is that you have people who commit mass murders, and guess what? They still get taken alive. Nobody said a damn thing about it. Candace, nobody else said a thing about it. But as soon as a black man on TV basically getting killed for really minor things or didn't do anything at all, take Eric Garner, take Philando Castile, take quite a few other people who also, even Tamir Rice, who didn't do anything wrong, they get killed. And guess what? You will still have people saying that they deserve that. Even little Tamir Rice, when he was in the park playing with a pellet gun, just like I had a pellet gun when I was young. I'm sure a lot of you all, men and women, especially the men, had pellet guns also. What you go do? You go in the park and you go shoot outside in your backyard. Police roll up 6 seconds. 6 seconds later, you can watch the video. Tamir Rice get gunned down. Now, what did that young man do? But you have people like Candace Owens who will sit up here and blow smoke up your butt and tell you that it's raining outside. But anyway, as the Black Lives Matter movement runs into its 12th consecutive day, with demonstrators calling for police reform in the end to systemic racism, Mrs. Owens says she had been left sickened, like she just sick to her stomach, by the fact that Floyd, Mr. George Floyd that is, has been held up as a martyr. Not the fact that he's been held up as a martyr, but the fact the way that he was killed. And you would think that you, Candace, being a black woman, that you would have some kind of sympathy. Nobody is trying to uphold George Floyd that I know of, and you let me know in the comment section if they are, as a hero. And if that's your prerogative, like Bobby Brown said, if you want to. But at the same time, why would you sit up here and say people trying to hold this man up as a martyr or as a hero when clearly we see the videotape and that touched a lot of people to hear this man scream out in agony and call for his mom? You know what kind of pain a man have to be in to scream out and cry for his mama, a grown man? Like, I guess you don't have no sympathy to that. That's why, and a lot of you all will get mad, but that's why the black community is also the shape it is, because you have the black man and the black woman who won't stand together. That's just the point right there. And then what really made me look into Candace's background when I seen who she was married to. But I'm not going to get into that because you can love who you want to love. I'm not going to make this about black or white or whatever. But I'm making this about what is really right and what is really wrong, and the way people try to sway the masses with their undertalks and everything. Like, just because you can use a lot of big words, doesn't mean that you're making sense. What you're really doing is double talking, double speaking, and also tap dancing for massa. Let's finish up. But anyway, in an interview with radio host Glenn Beck, for those who know about Glenn Beck, he came on a lot of fire also due to something he said about black people, who posted it to Twitter before it was retweeted by President Trump. Like, what kind of president we have that sit back and watch Twitter all day, and tweet and stuff? What kind of leader do we really have? I don't see Vladimir Putin doing this. I don't see no other leaders in the world doing this type of thing. I mean, it's no wonder why people look at us as what? A joke. But anyway, President Trump retweeted what Candace Owens said on Twitter, and she said this right here: George Floyd was not a good person. I don't care who wants to spin that. I don't care how CNN wants to make you feel and think that he had just turned his life around. But hold on. Who are you to judge somebody? That's the problem right now in this world. That we have a lot of people who's full of what? Sin, trying to judge the next man. Look, you have no right. You have no authority to sit up here and say that this man wasn't going to turn his life around. Only person who can answer that is the Most High, God. And none of us is God down here, no matter how mighty we think we are, no matter what position we may hold in society. None of us have the right to sit up here and say this person would not change his life. That's the main thing about it right there. Because guess what? If you grew up on the other side of the track, just say if you come from poverty or if you come from a crime-ridden neighborhood, and just say if you was a woman who had 3 or 4 kids by 2 or 3 different baby daddies, would you want somebody to sit up there telling you that you would not change your life around? You have to be careful the things that come out your mouth these days, especially in situations like this. But when you sell your soul for a jelly roll, you don't give a damn what come out of your mouth hole. Anyway, the fact that he has been held up as a martyr sickens me. Like, it makes you that mad that this black man mural, his picture being plastered everywhere. It sickens you. You think that it will make you glad because you have people for once paying attention to what's really going on in America with law enforcement, with the way they treat minorities and other ethnic groups. Well, you even had a 75-year-old man. This man was white. That he was basically pushed down, bust his head kind of open in the back and everything. And they fired those officers. They're trying to charge those officers right now. So not everybody that is your color is out there marching for you. Now, what about justice for this white man who got his head busted open? Did you say anything about that? How those cops did that man? No, you did not. But at the same time, you would say that it sickens you the fact that George Floyd is being held up as a martyr. If anything, you should be glad the fact that people are paying attention for once. But anyway, let's continue. Mrs. Owens saying that Mr. Floyd has served 5 stints in jail. Was he really going to turn things around? It's just not true. So here you are playing judge, jury, and executioner, and also Jehovah, Yahweh, the Most High, Allah, whatever you want to call him. But at the same time, how are you going to sit up here and say just the fact that this man been to jail 5 times, he was arrested for cocaine and all this other stuff, that he wasn't going to turn his life around? You just don't see it. Who the hell are you to sit up here and say somebody ain't going to turn their life around? I mean, if that's the case, why don't you call out everything and everything that everybody do instead of just one group of people? I feel this way. I feel if you're going to call out the things that your fellow black brothers do, you should also call out the thing that white people do, Mexicans do, or whoever else. Don't just target one race because you feel they are unempowered, they don't have anybody really backing them. Notice, not too many people speak about other races of people. Even on YouTube, they only make videos about certain type of people because they know those people are the people that are less empowered. Let's be for real. But anyway, let's continue. And posting an interview to his Twitter account, Mr. Glenn Beck said, "I don't care what George Floyd did. The officer should have never treated him like that and killed him. But we must still ask, is he a hero? Hell no, he's no hero. He was a regular man who maybe had made a mistake. But like I said, you have conflicting stories. You have people saying that the money was real. You have people saying that the money was fake. Then you also have people saying that George Floyd and this officer, David Chauvin, the one who had his knee on his neck, worked in a restaurant together. So my thing is this, if he has such an extensive criminal record, how can he get a job mostly anywhere and also working beside his officer? What are the chances that him and his officer will work in a restaurant together, have run-ins or whatever, they have altercations in the past, and they meet up years later on the street, and ultimately George Floyd died by his hand? That don't make no sense. But anyway, now it's sad that the fact that Candace Owens would take out 20 minutes of her time, her precious time, to sit up here, number one, and make a video condemning George Floyd and his moment of death. They didn't get a man time to be buried, even though he had just recently got buried. Also, they had his funeral up all over national TV. You go watch that. But the fact that you would speak against this man, and he's not here to defend himself. He's not here to say if the money was real or not. But just in case the money was fake, let's just say that still warrant him getting killed. And just like you said, Candace, for those who watch the video, that George Floyd had powder cocaine on him. Guess what? They found drug dealers with kilos of cocaine. None of them wind up dead or anything like that unless they have a shootout with the police. So for you to sit up here and say that basically George Floyd murder was justified and that we shouldn't even worry about it because he was a low-life thug, says a lot about how you feel about your fellow black brothers. And I'm sure people with common sense and decent amount of critical thinking can see past you. I mean, you're no different than Omarosos and all these other paid token sellouts who sit up here and cater to massa. Let's just be for real what it is. Now, what really piqued my interest about Candace was the fact that she made the video about George Floyd. Even though I heard her name on and off, I never really knew who she was, never took out the time to even listen to her or watch her. But the fact that she would go so hard on a dead man and bring up his past saying that he wasn't going to change, that has a problem with me. And that should have a problem with anybody. Because guess what? All of us have sinned and fell short of the glory. Never forget that. Never forget that. Like the Bible say, that he without sin cast the first stone. And guess what? None of us would cast the first stone, but we all have sin. Maybe some people that did a lot of things that's more greater than the other ones, but we all have did something wrong in our past. But that does not give the right to somebody else to come and take your life like it ain't nothing. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. If you like the video, push that like button. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely share this video with your family and friends. Till next time, you all stay blessed. Learn things from yourselves. And also this right here. When you hear people talking like this, listen to what they're really saying and do background on them. They're just like if you have somebody targeting one group of people, but they turn a blind eye to the other group of people who's doing a lot of stuff that says a lot about them and their agenda. Because everybody out here is playing a part. Remember, the world is a stage and everybody has a part to play. Till next time, you all stay blessed. Rest in peace, George Floyd. And rest in peace to all the victims of police brutality. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. If you like the video, push that like button. If you like the video, please share the video, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member. And also, you all stay blessed. Have a great day. I'm out.